Hello and welcome to another episode of Rufus Eats Cheese.
Today we have a huge piece of gorgeous looking, smells really good, Quicke's vintage cloth-bound cheddar. Oh, can't wait. Thanks for all your comments, and if you enjoyed the videos, please make sure that you subscribe and
hit the notification bell around here.
If there's any recommendations you have, any cheeses that you can't believe I haven't tried or haven't reviewed yet, drop them in the comments down below, and I will do my best just for you to eat more cheese and to try and get around to eating every kind of cheese that you've suggested. That sounds like a plan, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because I rather like cheese.
Daddy loves cheese.
It's not true. It's nonsense. It's nonsense.
There's a cheese video about it.
So you might have seen my short video recently. I had some vouchers that had been exchanged from a dairy tour, which I really have liked to have done, but with the pandemic and everything, this is a very, very close second to a cheese tour. I picked up a couple of cheeses. I got a nice goat's cheese for my wife Elena, who really likes goat's cheese. I got a new cheese knife, which I will review very soon. And I picked up this lovely big slab of Quicke's vintage cloth-bound cheddar. Now, I'm going to be honest here, it was a slightly bigger wedge than this when I bought it, wasn't it? It was a slightly bigger wedge. I thought, I'll just have a tiny taste before I review it. I'll just grate a little bit, and I'll just have a little bit more. I'll just put some in an omelette, and then, yeah. So it was a slightly bigger piece. It was out here somewhere. But this is still a lovely big lump of cheddar. It's been out for an hour or so, so it's it should be nice and warmed up. And what do you reckon? Do you think we should just dive straight in?
It's lovely. It smells slightly salty, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the nice things about cloth-bound cheddar is it really seems to develop in quite a different way. This beautiful one here really. It really feels good. It's very solid without being crazy hard. And it's typically 2 years old, 24 months. So, there are people who don't keep their vehicle that long, let alone a cheese. So it's beautifully crafted. And if I turn it round this way, you might be able to see this gorgeous rind on the outside here. You can actually see the pattern from the pattern here from the cloth and the mould developing on it. What do you think? Do you want to have a little sniff of the? What do you think?
There's a definite
different, isn't it?
difference between the actual rind and the actual middle cheese bit. The inside smells salty and slightly mild. The outside smells salty and not very mild, but at the same time it's not very strong, so it's medium. It's about in between.
Nice. Well,
I think we should dive in.
Vintage cheddar. I'm going to try and cut off a piece.
Fallen right onto the almonds.
I know, that's fine. I wanted to get a piece sort of all the way through, really, because we've got the nose, we've got the
oh my word.
edge. It's all quite different. So as you can see, it almost crumbles. With it being so mature, it almost kind of crumbles like a Stilton would in some ways. There's definitely this kind of cleavage plane through here. Let's have a little sniff. Oh, it's magnificent.
Runaway cheese.
That cut edge What do you think? What?
It's slightly spicy.
Have you tasted it already?
Yeah.
You cheeky monkey.
Actually, it smells slightly spicy too.
I'm going to dive in. I think it smells rather fresh. I'm going to nibble this bit. Yeah, it's definitely got a beautiful savoury note. Right, let's try it. Beautiful and savoury, but sweet as well. That's quite clever.
Really?
It tastes sweet and savoury somehow.
Savoury.
Tasting notes for it say that it's definitely got some caramel notes. I think I know what they mean. There's a real, a lovely sort of salted caramel thing going on, where you've got this savoury, sweet little little pairing that goes really, really nicely. What do you think? Did you have another little bit?
I did notice that it was quite peppery for me.
Really?
Yeah.
It is very mature. It's a vintage one, which is
I'm going to try it.
as mature as it goes. I'll have another little piece.
That really tingles your nose when you smell it up close.
The flavour's still developing, so I need to have another little taste and discussion about what it's like. So straight away, all that sweetness those lovely savoury umami flavours are sitting so stable, like a foundation. Now it's starting to taste a little saltier. What do you think?
I think it's super salty mixed with a little bit of pepperness, because as it goes down your throat, you can feel sort of like a tingling sensation.
Yeah, I can feel that as well. I can feel that. That saltiness ends, but most of that sweet savoury combination is still there. This is a beautiful cheddar. Lovely little crunch on it as well. Sometimes I find extremely mature cheddars very tasty, but sometimes I find that there's a hint, if they've been kept very long. I'm not so keen on the mould that's developed on the outside that flavours it, but this is gorgeous. This is very, very tasty indeed. I do like this obviously the care they put into producing it. You can really taste it. What do you reckon?
I think I might need to get an almond.
You can have an almond. It is quite strong, isn't it?
Really strong.
It is the most mature one they do, the vintage.
To be honest,
Yeah.
I think that the outside...
Actually, let's try a piece from the outside. That's the rind there. I'm going to try a piece with the rind on. Do you want to try a little bit with the rind? You don't have to.
Nah.
Okay, I'm going to try a piece. Oh, it's so crumbly. I'm going to try a piece with a bit of the rind on as well. If I can just take that little bit off. I've got that bit of rind on the edge there.
Try a smidge of the rind too.
Weirdly, if there was a kind of taste of excitement, that would be it. That's quite pokey. The rind here, obviously, there is a bloom on it. The flora on the outside here, they've mentioned in their blog that flora will be pretty much unique to their dairy. The combination of how they how they care for the cheese, how they produce it, their exact herd, where they are, everything, the aspect that Quicke's Dairy is actually only about 3 miles up the road. So for me, this is really nice. This is such a local cheese. I love local cheeses, but often if you buy them at a supermarket, they have actually kind of probably covered some distance. If you were to buy Cornish Blue in a supermarket in Cornwall, it could have actually been all the way to the other end of the country to a depot where the buying staff have arranged for distribution around the country. Then it will have come back again. So it's very nice having bought this from their own cheese shop on the farm. It's really nice to know the provenance of this cheese. I'm going to have another piece. What about you? Are you going to have one, or is it getting a bit strong?
It was a bit of the rind.
You had a bit of the rind.
I think it was taste a bit celery.
A bit like celery. That's interesting.
Not the vegetable celery, but more like a cellar.
Oh, like a cellar. Well, that's essentially what they've done, isn't it? They've put the cheese carefully away in a special cheesy area, and it's a bit like a cellar, isn't it? Let's try another piece from here. This was, I think, roughly from the middle of this face here, so let's give that a try. It's beautifully robust. I think this would... Those flavours just dial up and dial up. And the flavour's still developing. I was trying to say, for the cheese, so it really interrupted me, I think this vintage cheddar is robust enough that you could pair it with some quite pokey or quite sharp things. So I think this would go beautifully with a really nice rich wine, or maybe even port. I think this would stand up to a glass of port quite well. Also, I have tried melting this, and I had it in an omelette, and it was really good. Did you like it in an omelette?
It wasn't too bad, but if it's caramelised, I think it's like...
It caramelizes around the edges.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's particularly good, isn't it? Let's try these bits.
Wow, that's particularly pokey.
It really does have some
Pokiness
strength
to it.
but it doesn't have some mature cheeses like Cornish quartz, for example, have a lot more kind of sting to the mouth. Like they're a lot sharper, and this has some sharpness, but it's not over the top. There's just this really rich flavour. It's like those other cheeses like Old Amsterdam that have that real caramel sweetness to them. This has some of that, but it's so well balanced with that. Those long savoury notes that start pretty much right away, for my palate anyway. You pop a piece in. You do get that lovely tang, almost aromatic notes from the rind being so so unique because it's cloth bound, and you have this flora on the outside, which it's obviously sold with as well. You have that as part of the cheese. That's particularly nice. You can get some very nice cheeses, but of course often you get a nice clean chunk cut from the middle, and you don't have any of the outer cheese because a lot of people don't want it. But you're right there. Is it good? That's really good. What a cheese. Thank you very much, Quicks, for producing such a lovely cheese. I will definitely be in again to buy some more. I don't know if I'll buy a piece quite so big, but it might be better for me to buy smaller pieces, given how long this one's likely to last.
Yeah, probably like 3 or 4 days, maybe 10.
10 days. I will be very impressed if we keep that for 10 days. In fact, even 3. If you imagine divide that into 3. Well, it's not that much cheese, is it really? Single portions, aren't they, really? At that size.
Yeah.
Although, you could put a little, nice little cracker on the top and have it like that. Actually, we might have some crackers. Should we magic some crackers from somewhere?
Yeah.
These are Nairn's oatcakes. Oh, go on then. Over there. These are, oatcakes are basically gluten-free anyway, but I understand that to get the gluten-free mark on them to be able to call themselves gluten-free, obviously they're made of oats, to be classed as gluten-free, there shouldn't be anything with gluten in that whole processing chain. So basically the whole factory has to be gluten-free. You can't just say, oh, today we're doing oat cakes, but yesterday we were doing wheat crackers. That's not good enough. So these are also superseded cakes, and they have flax seeds, sunflower seeds and chia seeds along with whole grain oats. So they should be quite nice. I'm going to grab a nice bit there.
There's no big bits. Yeah, I could just
You can have this big bit if you want, and I'll have that big bit.
That's okay.
Ready? Let's go.
On the count of 3.
Right.
1,
2,
2, 3.
3. That is good. Wow. That's really nice. The cheddar actually sits really well with the cracker. I usually prefer my cheese on its own, but that's rather good. I'm just wondering, what it'd be like with a little bit of chutney, maybe?
This already feels like a lot
cheddar.
of cheese.
You don't have to finish it all.
No, I do.
I mean, I can finish it all.
I want to. Aha! Look at that. It's perfect. It's almost like it's meant to fit on there.
You're meant to eat it. It's like a Star Wars thing, Jedi thing. Go for it. I'm going to have a bit with our beautiful vintage plum chutney on, which is about 9 years old, I think. So it's our last jar, I think, though. We nearly finished it. Yeah.
What does it taste like?
So good. This plum chutney is quite sweet and really mature. But I was right. The Quicke's vintage Clothbound cuts through it really well. You can still taste a lot of the stuff I mentioned when we're having it on its own. That lovely salty caramelly undertone is still there, even behind this quite strong fruity sweet flavour here. So that's absolutely wonderful.
My throat's starting to hurt because it's so spicy. It's actually like quick, boom! It's almost like someone punching you in the face. Super strong. It's like, wow, that is so weak. And then it's just almost like, boof! You're like, wow! I mean, that is some strong cheese when you notice
It's quite strong, isn't it? It's pretty strong. I think we better put this baby away safe. Otherwise, there could be an incident. Thanks very much for watching. Please like, share, comment and subscribe, and
hit the notification bell down below.
And I will see you next time.